Hi guys, good morning. Before starting late, but I couldn't help myself to come back. So yeah, there was something I was caught up with, and it got 50 days. So I will ask. Sorry for that. And before we proceed any further, I just want to mention that today is the last day for the boot camp, and the content for today won't be much left. If you remember something that I have forgot or like would have mentioned that yes, I will be covering that up, please point out that to me, or else we'll be starting off with the backend jobs today and caching. That is what we are left with. That we'll be covering those up.
Hi. Before starting, I need a clarification.
Yeah.
Actually, you showed us how to download either CDI or sorry CLI or CDN and
Hmm.
go with the front end. Whereas when I was following the Jan 25 project session from IITM,
Hmm.
there sir was copy pasting the CDN link and he was working in .js file.
Yeah.
So, what is the major difference which would be better?
See, major difference. It won't be there much. Like as per the project, there won't be a huge difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or as per the scope or scale of the project, there won't be a huge difference. But it's still, I would. What I prefer is that if you are going with CLI, there is a more vast area that you can uh, that you can work with, right? But
Mm-hmm.
CDN doesn't help with that. CDN is limited in feature
Okay.
availability and stuff, right? So
Okay.
it's a choice that you want to make. Again, I won't say that CDN is bad or something, but give it a try. Give it a try for both, whatever or whichever is easier for you or it takes less time because the deadline is very like it is within a month, I guess. So whatever way is faster, take that.
So instead of downloading, can we just copy paste the link and go with the
Yes,
project?
CDN is only that. Like
Okay.
what is CDN is like there will be like whatever logic and stuff will be there in the servers, and whenever you are running your project, it will be got down from the server, right? It
Okay.
needs internet to work.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so we did till day 4 and it was front end in SRC. Let's see categories. That's how we seen category update read, then the dashboard. Right. And I would say like it would be the uh, things that I would showcase for dashboard, at least for the basic dashboard, right? Next thing that I want to go for is Day 5. Uh, in here, let me just copy backend. So, and copy front. And in front end, what I want to do is like it copy everything up. Like, starting from the public traffic, so, but not the node pointers. Got everything in Day 5. Let me do one thing. Let me just open it. Open Day 5 front end in this terminal. And if you remember from the other day, how to create node modules, it's like npm install. I already have the virtual environment in the base directory, so I do not need to recreate it. But what if we needed it to be done? So it's like okay, I kill the terminal. So I'm doing it again because it was unfinished and I closed some button. So yeah. The thing I was saying is, how can you create a virtual environment if you remember? So if I open it up in the terminal, I will recreate it. I already have the virtual environment in the base directory, but I will recreate it in this directory and I will remove it. Okay. So how can I create it? Create it is firstly create a empty virtual environment. I can minus m env and whatever name we want to give it. For example, Day5. Right. Next thing I have to activate it, and finally, what I have to do is pip install. And without writing out the library names, I will be using the file that is requirements.txt with a minus r option that you will read from the file, whatever uh, file library it has. Okay. This is how I will create it. I'm not proceeding anymore, but we'll remove it and start off with it. We have some more installations that have to be done, and we'll be doing those right before we proceed for backup jobs. So if I have to mention for backend job, what you have to do is you have to make or you have to use Celery and Redis for scheduling jobs. Okay, for auto scheduling jobs, and for caching, you only need Redis to cache the data. So before I proceed any further, I would list down the things that I will be needing to download. Okay. And it starts with Redis, Redis, Celery, then let's list down the things that I would need for caching. For caching, what do I need? I need Redis server, and I need a library. It could be Flask caching or any other library if you want to use any generic library, that is also fine. But I will be working with Flask caching. But first, daily for let me list down it as schedule jobs. Okay. Now for this, what you do is for daily reminder, what you can say is you can like you have to use Redis server, Celery, and now here's the thing. how do you how would you be sending the notifications, right, or the daily reminders? How would you be doing it? One way is to use mail, and for mail, what am I saying? We'll be using SMTP development servers, okay, not a live server or something. Or what you can do, you can use webhook. Webhook was covered in lecture. You can refer to the lectures. Or there is SMS, and it's the least preferred way for me. Right. Next comes the monthly reminder. Now for this, you mandatorily have to use Redis server, Celery, and Mail. You cannot use anything else. Now, for Mail, I would ask you to go ahead with SMTP development server, as like SMTP server, but in a development. Okay, not like a live server, live SMTP server. You can use those, but why to? Right? Because you don't have genuine mails, and the mails won't be going ahead up. So it's better to use dummy emails, and dummy emails, like how we will be sending mails with a live server is the same thing if we send it with the SMTP server, like development SMTP server, and it will be within your system. And lastly, it's like the user triggered async job. User trigger. Now for this, what you have to use is Redis server, Celery, and either you can attach it to the mail. Okay. So what you have to do in this, you have to generate a file and somehow send it to the uh, end user, right? Now for that to be done, either you can attach it to the mail, or what you can do, you can like uh, generate the binary file, send the binary file, send the file as a download on the browser. Somehow, like you just need to supply out the file, and how you're doing it is that uh, isn't choice that you want to make. Okay, there won't be a problem. So we need this stuff. Now for us to work, we will be needing mostly the backend. Okay, for today, we won't be like there would be the least code that we'll be doing for front end. And let's start off. So firstly, we need to install Redis server. So Redis install. Either you can go ahead and use these options to get it. Right. Or else you can just proceed with this option, that is okay. If you are on Windows, you need to download it. Okay, download it in different way. That is okay. You can go ahead with this normal download option. or else I guess you can find it from the place Microsoft Store too. Okay, give it a try. If it is not possible, then we'll find the link and share it with you. But anyways, if I am on Linux, what I can do is I already have it installed, so I'll just open it up on a different OS and will do from there. What's the thing? No, it's fine. It's fine. So if I want to install it over here, so what I would do is just go ahead and write sudo. Like if you are on Linux, sudo apt install redis server. Ask you for that password, and you can just go ahead and download it. So I already have that, so it's like the newest source. You do want to try another store in that case. Most probably it won't be having that, but let's give it a try. Sudo install that is server. Oh, it doesn't have it. Nice. But if so, what happened previously? Like if I run the command again, so it is like unable to locate the package. What you have to do, I have to update it. Sudo apt update so that it is updated with all the latest packages and stuff. Then I will just go ahead and install that is server. It ask me for 5 MB or something of disk space, and now it's there. Now, what I will do is I'll just run the command redis server, and if you see, it says that there is some problem. Like whatever code edit that it wants to use, it is already being used. So it's like it cannot start up. So most probably it is running over here. What I will do is so now you can see that I stopped the Redis server that was running in another location and I restarted it. So it would look something like this. Okay. And it has started in 6379 port number. I'll kill this over here. Again, one more thing. for Redis server, like for other servers and stuff, whatever that we are using for our project, if we kill the terminal, then it kills that service. Okay, kills that program. But it's not the same for Redis. So Redis will be running within the background if you close the terminal. So if you want to kill it, what you can do is, let me do one thing for Redis server. Commands are to start. It's like if you again, I'm considering it's for Linux only. To start it, you can like use a alias Redis server. To kill it, here's the thing: if the terminal is active, then it's just what control plus C, right? But if it is running in background, if it is running in background, okay. In that case, what you have to do, you can use this command sudo service, like from services, right? Sudo service that is server stop, and it will kill. Right. And in general, default port ID is 6379. Again, it cannot be something like yes, it will always be attached to 6379. You can manually change it, or else it may get changed. But in general, it is 6379. Next thing would be installing Celery and Redis library. Okay. So this is the service, right? But I need to communicate with the server. How can I do it? I need the details. I need the uh, what? I need a way to communicate, and that way is from the Redis library, Python library. So the thing that I will download right now is pip install, and firstly I'm going for caching, right? Redis and Flask cache. I just go ahead and install those two in the virtual environment. Clear the virtual environment out, and I will do pip freeze to requirements.txt. cd day5 backend pip freeze to requirements.txt. Let me check if those are added. You can see flash caching was added, and in here Redis was there. And let's open up app.py. So this looks good. Over here, what we will do, we'll create one more file in the backend directory. Name it as cache or what? Caching info. Or else it's a best idea that I create a folder, name it as APS, and we'll shift this caching wala file over there. Caching that file. Why did that? I will be coming to that in the okay. But in this file, what I will do from class caching library, I will import cache. I would declare a variable. Declare a variable. So, yes, right. And from this file, I will just import it. Just gas. In here, I will just initialize gas. Furthermore, I need to declare out some configurations. Starting here. That is just open up the documentation. And we'll refer to this thing. Firstly, what you have to define gas type. Gas type is that is gas. Next thing, either I can use a URL or I can specify it manually. So if I am going with this URL, then it's like this. Okay. And whatever data DB, whichever DB that you want to use, DB as in you can get multiple. Okay. There is one more thing that you can go for, that is Redis Insight. It's an GUI for Redis. Right? If you open it up, you'll see that Redis can have multiple databases. And you can allocate each database to for each purpose and stuff. So the server is not running, that's why it will not connect. I'll just go ahead and run Redis server. It's initialized and it's just running. And I just click add Redis server, so it got connected. Just go in, and if you see over here, you can like give out the IDs. So it will be considered as a DB ID. So what am I saying? Let's keep DB0 for caching. And there is one more thing that I will add. Gas key. It could be what? Okay, let it be my name. I cannot think out anything. And let's keep the default timeout to be 300 seconds. That is 1 minute. So it cannot be that key one cache is there for unlimited amount of time. Number of items are not even. So a cache data should be a copy for a data that is cache. there should be, or it should survive for a limited number of time, a limited amount of time.
Right.
That is why we'll be keeping it. Like, you can keep a default timeout, or you can specify what or how much timeout till what point of time one data could stay. Now that in place, what I will do, I'll just go ahead and cache an API just to show you guys. Now for this, I can cache. Yeah, let's cache this. Now, let me just open up the front end server and show this something. Open in the terminal. In here, I just go to the so first AT, and I need to log in. So, admin at the rate. Oh, admin, I guess what we think. And something. Okay, backend server is not running. Came in here, and let me do something. As of now, I haven't cached anything, or I haven't added cache to any endpoint. Right. So as of now, the database is empty. Right. And what I want to do, I want to cache the endpoint, whichever that is supplying this data. So where can I find it? I can find it in routes category.py, and basically it is get. So after this to decorator, I would add one more decorator, that is from utils.caching. I would import cache in here. That is in here. What I need to do is at the rate cache dot cast. I can give out a timeout, else like I can skip because of the default time, right? And whatever extra things that is already present, you can go through it, like timeout, keep prefix, post update, and so many things. You can like check out the documentation and have a look. Okay. So I'm not using anything. Just cache and like, just a simple decorator. I restart the app and I just give it a try. See, it's getting updated. And now what I will do, if I refresh this page, what it will do? It will just go ahead and send a request to the endpoint, right? And the data is cached for 1 minute is long. Let me cache it for 10 seconds, right? Timeout is equals to 10. So it's there for 10 seconds. Now if I refresh it, it would save a copy of the data in the Redis server, right? Maybe a bit more time. 10 minutes is not copy. Let it go. Restart it. As of now, database is empty. And if I refresh it, you can see it created a copy. Right? There's a copy. Now, if I add a category, veg, create a category was created successfully. But if I refresh, it won't come up because it is using the cache data. Until and unless the cache data is removed, it won't give me. If I refresh it now, it's there. Okay. See, it's there for next 18 seconds. Now, if I delete or if I edit this vegetable to from the fields. I don't know what's the spelling. Some. See, it's still showing the description as veg, right? But the database says something different. Category, fresh of fields or something. Now it's gone. So if I refresh it again, you can see that it would say that same. So it is getting cached. Again, you may say that I can. So whenever I am doing a change, I can delete the cache data that I can do, but I am keeping it in this, and that would be it for us. Nothing much. Next thing is salary. Salary for salary, we won't be getting much. I won't be needing much, but yeah, let's do it. So, what do we need? I need a SMT server, and for that we'll be using mail. So it's basically this. And you can get the commands from. So if you are on Linux, please use this set because it's a newer one, or else you can go like this one. But it considering if you have installed WSL in the recent times, then you have to go with this command. I already have that, so again, I'm not doing it, but it's very intuitive. You do not need to do anything. Right. Next thing is how to run the command, run the server. That is this one. And to kill it, you just need to close the terminal. Closing the terminal or like control. Let's see, and it's done. Don't be running into that. I just open up another terminal, and I can keep it running. So it's like go bin. So you can see it gave me two addresses. One is this one, another one is this one. So I said it's like it has provided two port IDs for different purposes. One is for the SMTP address, another one is as an HTTP address. HTTP address is an GUI that MailHub provides. That is localhost 8025. And you can check all the mails from here. Right. And where to send the mails? We have to send the mails in this address. Achha, there is something more. Like the mail that I was talking about. For mail, I'll be using again the library that is compose mail. I'll be using fast mail. And installation is easy, just go ahead and start fast mail. Right. And we're done. And we will be using celery too. So pip install celery. and nothing more, I guess. No, that would be it. Updating the requirements at least. And now let's start off with building the salary task or initializing salary. In Util, I create a file. I write salary. Maybe runner or something. Should we keep it first? Okay, let it be. In here, what I would from salary. So in the salary library, I import salary. Next thing from config, like I need to define some configurations that I will be importing. From config, I'll be importing salary config. From app, I'll be importing create app. And add the configurations over there that I'll be needing. I don't need all this, but thing that I need is the broker URL. Let it be in one, result back can be two, time zone. Let it be there, and anything more I don't require. That would be it. Hmm. I go back to the salary. In here, I have to find one method. Python. Just make salary, and that needs an app instance. in it. Now, for this salary, and I have to give it a name. That is the app name. Init app dot name. Okay. Next thing is init salary count dot update. Configuration from object. Okay. And I'm just passing the class that I have defined over there. Right. I don't need anything more. So I will just return init salary. In here, I will define salary equals to make salary. And how to start salary is that let the backend server be running in here. Next thing here is the Redis server, the front-end server, and the mail hub. Let's bring down the Redis server. Next thing, I would open up one more terminal, and I just want to cd into this directory, that is utils. Okay. Open in integrated terminal. In here, you just need to write a command. That is salary minus capital A. Then what file? Like like currently I am in utils directory, right? In here, the file name is salary worker. the salary worker dot what variable that I have chose, that is salary. Salary. Then I would specify that I'm starting up the worker with log level info. Log level as info. Now I'd run this command. So you can see that it is not working, and that's very fine. Cannot find the config.
Slash is amazing.
Sorry?
Dot slash forward slash.
Yeah, that one. That would be the double dots. Okay, we can do one more thing. We can define a config failover that is dedicated for sender. And it remove it from. And the time zone needs to be changed. So it's easier. Now let's give it a try again. No module name app. It cannot find app. That's fairly. Oh ho ho! It's not working because of the terminal. My bad. Now what you have to do is cd up to one location that is in backend directory. Clear everything out. I'd be using the same command, but with something more. That is, before salary worker, I would write util dot salary worker, and now it is working fine. How can I verify that it is working fine? Because I have kept log level to be info, so it is showcasing everything up, right? And from here you can verify that from transport and URL, it is using Redis, that is fine. Next thing, it is using Redis DB1 for transport and DB2 for result, right? And those are added in the configuration. That is over here. Broker URL says 1 and result backend says 2. Now it is good. What I will do in utils, one more thing, that is define one more file and name it as tasks.py. And let's define a task. So how different is a task from a endpoint? I say it's not much. That is, you define a class, and it's like print hello. Okay. Now, what I want to do is, I literally want to print hello from task 5, and with a return statement, hello from task 5, return. And there's a problem. Oh, sorry. Find it as a class. It's a method. Next thing, what I have to do is, I have to define it as a task. How can I do it? Is from celery worker, I would import celery. In here, I would define celery at the rate task. Now, still, it won't be considered. So, if you see in here, I would be getting the task, but celery is a bit different. It won't be registering the task as of now because I have already started my worker. Then I have added a task, so it won't be adding it up over here. You don't be registering it with itself, right? So what I have to do, I have to manually kill this and restart. Okay. Now still the task is not added, but I have done everything. But there is something that is I have to close this, go back to celery work. After I have called this line, that is over here. Next thing is I have to import everything from tasks. Give me 1 second, I have to take a call. Now I have imported tasks. Next thing is I will be restarting. Okay, let's see. Restarting the same thing. Okay. There's no tasks. That's sad. Cannot import it in this way. That's very sad. Let's give it. Now it is working fine. So what I had to do is I just need to define utils as celery worker because in the terminal I'm using the base progression to be backend in this Pythons. Backend. So I had to define utils as celery worker for this file, and for the task file I have to define utils from utils, like from the utils directory I'm importing the task. The task is in the task file. Now you can see that the task was considered. Okay. Now how can I run? To run it, I need to add some triggers. For the triggers option, either I can use endpoints or else I can use schedule jobs. Okay, scheduler. Now to add it to routes, let me have one more file, that is celery routes. In here, from whatever the other files need everything. I don't need the models and TV stuff. This thing I would be needing. So 25 get time also I won't be needing. And current user 2 I might not have. But I need something more that is from utils or tasks and importing quick. Let's do it in this way, and I'm keeping those two be open and let it be a get request so that it's simple. Now, what am I doing? I can call a method, right? Now to call a method, it's like nothing. It's what? This will be it. Calling a Python method, print hello, and I'm done. Now let's give it a try. I'll just go ahead and register the endpoint. Here, every routes task. And restart the backend server. Did not import task resource. Partially initialized. Most likely there is a circular import. Okay. Okay. Now that situation that I didn't want to have. Oh, okay. At least it got started up. Let me give it a try. So local host 5000 slash replace slash task. Okay. I commented it out. No, did I add it? Did I have it? Oh, so it's only task. You can see that it says task start. And what was printed is was hello from task.py, and that is because yeah, so edit routes, and it basically like I was running this Python method, right? And what was in that Python method? It's someplace here, yeah, over here. It had a print statement, right? So whenever I call the method, like if I have to call it in a as a Python method, in that case, it just printed it out in this term, okay, this state. And the return value that I can print from here is that see that it was added. Right. Now, what am I saying? It is not like it ran as a Python method, not as a celery task. You can see it in the celery worker terminal, nothing is happening. If a task is like if a celery task is been triggered, in that case, the terminal would show this, but there's nothing. That is because how we are calling this method. I would add dot delay, okay, and most probably the backend server would restart. Yes, and in here I would just refresh it. You can see that it is taking a bit of a time, and it says that JSON is not serializable. But that's not an issue. That is what I would have expected. Right? In here, if I go back to the worker terminal, you can see that something happened. It started from this point. It said that it received a task. Right? Task was received, and whenever the task was received, it checked if it is available to run the task. It ran the task and it printed out the statement. Next thing, it completed the task with this statement that is over here. Right? Now here's the thing: how could I have defined it? So it's like let me change the variable name var1. This is var1 dot. What could I have? I guess let's I would restart the backend server. Now you can check if it is. If I refresh it again, you can see that it is saying message that was again a static thing. It shows that task started and task result was null. And why is that so? That is because whenever I am sending a request for the API is sending it back to the end client, right? But the salary worker took a bit of time to complete the task and to generate the result. Generate the result as in this result, this one. Now, what happened was I need to make the API wait for the salary worker to complete the task. Then only it would respond back. Okay. So how can I do it? It is in a very simple way that I can keep it in a loop that while not ready. Okay. In that case, it would just go ahead and keep it waiting. Let's give it a try now. This backend got restarted. Now you can see that change is happening. This task null would change. I can see that came as the state. Now the thing is that there is something more. For example, like just to showcase this while wallet thing. In here, I would import from time. I would import sleep. Okay, and I sleep for 5 seconds. Now for that to happen, see what I have done is I have changed something in the task. Now if I give it a retry, okay. So what it would do? Firstly, it would whenever the task is being triggered, it would go ahead and print the statement, and it would sleep for 5 seconds. It won't do anything for 5 seconds, and after 5 seconds is done, it will just go ahead and complete the task, or the task will finish. Now here's the thing: if I refresh it, you can see it in the worker terminal. That is current time is for 50, right? So it got the request in 41 days. Or else I can give it a retry. So last task was at 46. Refresh, and this is the task. It got instantaneously it got completed, but it didn't sleep for 5 seconds. That is because the task was updated, but I didn't restart the work. So I have to restart the worker to re-register the task. Now, now I would give it a try. So I have added that while wala thing, right? Now if I refresh it, you can see it will keep waiting. See, it is waiting for 5 seconds. Now it got completed. Even you can see it from here. So the task call was done at 34:22. The print statement was at 34:22, but the end statement was at 34:27. Okay. It waited for 5 seconds. Now I can show you one more task, that is define add. Again, this was discussed in the lecture. It was a task. So I have to, if I have to re-register it, I have to restart the worker terminal, right? And now what I will be doing, see, I'll just go ahead to this. And next thing is add task source, and I don't need this. Need this. This is what I want to do, but I want to get the x and y value from the arguments. No, as a path variable. X and y. Okay. Let's give it a try. And let's add something more, that is a task ID. ID. let's go ahead to app and register this endpoint. In this way. Restart the server and let's give it a try. So it's like add 1 and 2. You can see that it is giving. You can give it a try with a longer now. Now, so it's working fine. It is giving me the results. So in that way, you can like give out what parameters to a task. Next thing, let's do something else. Let's find a user, find the admin user, and share the admin user's email ID as a task. Okay. So for that, what I will be doing is from what from model import user or this category and I'm importing category. Inside task, I define one more task. Define, for example, find category. Find category with the category ID. You'll be getting the ID. Next thing, I have imported the model. Let the model be shifted within this. And let's do it. So category equals to category dot filter by ID equals to ID dot first. If category, then I am saying that there is the category ID and here is the name as a return statement. Okay. Else, it's again it's a JSON object. Right? Else it would return this object. Right. Now that in place, I just go ahead and create a route for that. It's category class and source. Next thing I don't need all this. Rather, from util task, find category. And this is what I need. And I'll be passing the ID as a path parameter. That's good enough. So just to work with that, I'll just go ahead and register the class. I've restarted. And there's a problem parts are initialized and it is which one? Salary task. Let's see, salary task. Minus for that and this looks good. Now, let's give it a try. So as per the logic of the task, okay, I need to restart the worker. Worker got restarted and I have find category as a task. Now, as per the logic, what I will be getting, I will be getting the category with ID 1 and I'll be finally be like if I am sending the ID to be 1, so I will be getting the category ID and the category name. Okay. Now, let's give it a try. So it's slash category slash 1, right? Oh, okay. Okay. So I have to register it in a different way because it is getting a conflict. So let me add it fast. Got restarted. That is okay. That is good. Category. So that's one. Okay. Now you can see. And category has no attribute from category. What happened? I did something wrong. Cannot import find category. Yeah, I have find category. Oh, okay. Now this one. Press. And you can see that it is saying task has failed. Why is that so? Because generally the task got failed. Okay, it is not successful. If you go to the worker, you will see that there's an error. That is an app on it. So what is happening till that point, till the first two tasks, it was good. It was good to go because it didn't require. For the first two, it doesn't require anything. Those are the normal simple Python commands, right? But in here, what happened? It I wanted to do, or wanted to use a part of my app. Okay, that is the model, but it's a part of my app. And what's happening is that whenever I am running it from the celery side, it's considering it to be a different part. Like it's not considering it to be a part of my Flask server. Okay. So that is why it's giving me a Flask app. This is why it is giving me that app context error. How to resolve it? In utils, I would create one more file, name it as celery context.py. In here, from app, I would be importing create app. Next thing from celery, I would be importing task. Next, I would get the app. After that, I will define a class. Okay, class as context task. Okay. And with this, what am I saying is that whenever a task is being called, okay, in between I would add app context and I would go ahead and finish off the task. Okay. So forcefully adding app context over. Now I just go ahead and yeah.
One question, sir.
Hmm.
Actually, can you please explain these args and AW args?
Sorry.
It's working. The args part and arguments there.
Arguments.
Like, can you please explain how it's working? Like that. Two arguments you have
Okay.
provided, args and
Difference between k-args and args. Let's see. Let's check the difference. It's like the key arguments, keyword arguments, and normal arguments. So consider this. If you are going ahead with normal arguments, you can go ahead with normal arguments. That's not an issue. Right? But what am I saying is that whenever a task call is being made, if you have some arguments, you get those and you pass those. Okay. So what is happening? If you consider this, line 7, whenever I am getting a call for a task, what am I doing before I am proceeding any further? I am adding this app context. And next step, I am proceeding with the task graph. Now, here's the thing. What about the arguments? For example, what am I doing for this one? Okay, for this one, I got two arguments, right? I need to pass those. So for that, what am I doing? Whenever a call is being made, I will be getting the arguments and I am passing those whenever I am running the task. That is what, and that is why I kept the arguments. Nothing else. Now, for the worker, I will kill the worker. And I'll be restarting it, but before that, what I will do, I will just go to task.py and import from utils.salary context. I will import the salary context class, and in here I will define salary task to use this salary context. I restart it again and I will give it a try. Shouldn't fail. Yeah, now it is not fail. So what is happening? Whenever a request is being made to this one, so what did it do? I got a request. I added app.app context, and within that I ran everything. So it considered itself to be a part of the class. That is what we have done. Nothing. And with this, measure tasks are done. Last thing that I will be doing is task mail and schedule tasks. That is there too. Now in utils, I have to create one more file that is to be mailer.py from class. Did I download that? Yeah, I added Flask. So in here, I import from Flask mail. I import mail. That will be it. Next thing, mail. And in configuration, I would add the configuration status. There are the things I don't need everything, but I can start off with mail server. Again, please remember mailhog is already running. So mail server is localhost running within my system. And the SMTP port ID, if you remember, SMTP port ID is 102. And in general, it is 102. Other things too, I don't need an username password. Don't need TLS or SSL. But you can give out a default sender. That is, for example, that looks good. Next thing, what I want to do is I want to register it within my from utils dot mail at importing mail, and here we will add it. This is good. Next thing, I just go ahead and create a task. Send a task. Define send mail. Or define send mail. All users. Now I won't be needing anything here as an argument. I can get the subject. So in that case, I need to pass it. Not adding the subject. Right. Now from model, or else let's start off with a simple mail. Send email. How can I send an email? I could have done it as in route 2, but again, please consider this. You can use email, like you can use this code as a normal API within an API, within a task, anywhere. So from Flask mail library, I'd be reading this message variable. Next thing, I've declared a variable that is message and would initialize this message. And now you can see that within this message or a method, you can add so many things. Okay, subject, recipient, then there's body, then there's attachment, so many things, BBC, CC, and whatever that you want to add. So I'm just giving the subject over here, hello from salary, and what am I doing? I can give it in this way also. So it's not body, and the recipient should be in a list. If there is a single recipient, still it needs to be in a list. So let it be anyone, could be anything. Finally, I have prepared the mail. The mail is decomposed. Next thing, I need to send it. How can I send it? Yes. From utils, I'd be getting the mail address, the mail method. Then I would use this send the message, and you will send successfully. No. You can call it in a very style. Let's give it a try. Uh, in this case, I have to restart the worker, right? Restarted the worker, send mail, and let me trigger it from that is the salary rules, and let me add it to this place only. Some place only. Send. That's cool. Is what you thought result and you must do things has to rating. It will be different. Thing is working fine. You found this starting. So it will need it is running and what it is. Two. Let's give it a try. Post 5,000. Plus, plus that. Plus one. Now here you see. Failed to send email. That is fine. That is email was not out. I guess. Oh, email was out. It was how I have defined it. That's the problem. But email was sent out. You can check that from mail out. That mail was out. So from because it came from like I kept it as a default sender address, so I didn't have to supply that sender address, but considered it from there. That don't reply at the abc.com. Then here's the subject and to whom to this person, and here's the content. Now I should have defined it in a correct way. How could I check that? Is have a print statement. Check what status is. What is there in the variable? Let's restart it once. Okay, so it's none, right? So nothing is added. So yield.cm won't work in this way, but I can try it in a different place. If mail.send, then let's have a try. No harm to that. Yeah, cool. And let's check. And it still isn't working. It ended with failed to send. So we need to find a way out. Try a way out if the mails were sent or not. Now let's check. This is how we'll be sending a single mail. What if I am to send a mail to all the users in my uh, database? In all users. And that's a task. So that query got all. And now what you have to do, you every time have to create a new message for each single user. And that's it. And you have to send it. Then only you will be coming out of the form. So it's like hello from salary is the subject. Then in the body we are saying hello username user dot email, and this is a test email sent from a salary task. And here's the receipt. Recipient will be in this form. Now the mail is not there. That is because from which is mail I need to import mail. Okay, and it's that. Now let me restart it. Okay. Mail. So it's running fine. Oh, so just go ahead and change this. Got restarted and let's give it a try. So if you see what mails do I have three as of now, and three were from all that check that I was doing. I would remove everything, I would delete all the messages, and I would give it a read. Now let's go and check mail hub. You can see I have 5 users along with admin. So everyone got an mail. There's something more that I want to showcase is, for example, if you want to add an HTML, that is also possible. In message.html, and if you want to check that out on the screen. I can skip the body. Skip it. And I would restart the whole. Give it a try. You can see that the few seconds ago were right now. This is an HTML. So you can use a Jinja file to create a template and add the template from there. That is also possible. And finally, the last thing for this part of the project would be scheduling a job. Now for that, what am I planning to do? Let me schedule it for a time. This one, sending. So where can I do it? Let's do it. In worker salary. After this task, I will define something that is salary dot utils dot beat skill, and within the beat skill it is in a dictionary format, right? Now let's do this. Print hello every 10 seconds. Okay. This is how we can do it within a fixed interval. Okay. Let's give it a try. The same way we'll be doing. That is, I will open up another terminal. CD Day5. In here, the command is similar as an worker. What command I was using. Let's write it down. So it starts with salary. At the A, then utils dot salary worker dot what was the variable name? Salary. I think you can change it a bit, but anyways, let's keep it. So why am I writing salary is because, for example, if I kill this one and let's work with this variable, that is salary underscore app. So where do I have to change it? On line 12, that is salary underscore app. Just to make a difference so that it is visible to you guys. Salary underscore app. Salary underscore app. So if I restart it, you can see it will be working in a same style, same. Nothing would be friends. Cannot import name salary. That is over here in task. Freeware basically. Import salary underscore app as salary, and that's the same for the context. Where is that salary context? No, that's yeah. And if I restart it, no attribute details. Oh, okay. So there is some problem in the beat scheme. I need to check that. This is not the right way. Slowly, slowly. Acha, it's gone. Gone. I would restart the worker again. See, this is worker, right? Worker. And I will showcase the difference. In here, the difference would be instead over there it was worker, right? In here, you just need to write beat and the log level info. You keep the log level info. It's a good thing to go whenever you're going to this. Restart the worker, restart the beats. See, the worker registered all the tasks and it is similar. So that is why I just wrote the variable. Nothing else. And I will reset it. Again, if you remember in the task, I have added as and as because I have to, let's not use as. I've changed it. We will proceed with this one, and even for this one. Okay. Now you will see that it got started, right? Wait for 10 seconds. We'll see the difference. And 10 seconds is long. Okay, 16. See what happened. It automatically scheduled the task. Okay, we will wait for 10 more seconds to schedule once more. So it is scheduling that which task that is. You can see it from here. That is, it is like running this print hello walla task or scheduling this print or triggering this print hello walla task every 10 seconds, right? And you can check that in the worker terminal, it is genuinely it is passing. Now I will close this beat schedule. I don't want it in the fixed interval. Okay, there is one more thing that this is one way. Another way could be from the celery library. The celery library, I will be importing one that is prawn tab. Okay, no, not from the not from that. Like, wait, over here. Oh, from celery dot schedules, I'll be importing prawn tab. So with prawn tab, what can I do? I will be doing the same thing every 10 seconds, right? But with prawn tab. So prawn tab, this is how we can define every 10 seconds. Let's see. That is possible. And that is not possible. That is, I cannot use only seconds. I need to give numbers. Seconds, is it seconds of what? You can use this website. For example, oh, there is no second. That's a no second. For every minute. Every minute. That is okay. That is star divided by 60. Every second will be star divided by 60. Every 10 seconds will be star divided by 6, right? Let's give it a try. Again, if you see, this one came up because it was from the last time that there was in a queue. The task was like, or a schedule call was there and just passed. No, 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 not that. Okay, anyways, let's skip that. If you want, you can like, just go ahead and manually give out without drop down. For a second, I cannot like, think of a way. It's not by sense. So basically, if you want, what you can give, then you can give out cron tab accepts minutes, minute. If you give star, it is basically every minute. It considers our day of week, day of month, month of. All the things it considers. Next thing, what am I saying? Let's schedule it for a specific time. Let's schedule it for 11, 15 or 11, 14, 15, 15. So time, like minute I'm keeping it as 15, hour I'm keeping it as 11, day of week and other thing, let it be there. Okay, I'm considering every day. So if you do not write all this stuff, so it will be anyways, it will be defaulted. So it will be running every day at 11 hours 15 minutes. If I restart it, again, it would be running only and only if you have kept the configuration and time zone to be ACF. Okay, then only it will be using the IST time zone, or else it would stick to the UTC time zone. Now here's the thing. Let's worker 11:15, right? And I'm calling that print hello one. Enter. Let's wait for 15 more seconds. Okay, and it's 11:15, and the task was ready. This is how you will be like adding this stuff. And for example, if I have to use it in a single uh, day of month, I can write it over here. So today is 16th, right? 16th. I restart it. It won't work because I have kept the this is 15. If I add it to 16 and restart it, you can see that it will work. And with this, I say I've covered all the topics that I have planned. I don't see anything more that I have to discuss, at least for the basic app that we would be requiring for the requirements, core requirements. Let's see that it was complete. So, if you want to ask anything, if you want to discuss anything, then discuss. I'm calling it a day. Oh, user triggered async job. I've shown you that user triggered async job. The one that we were doing from API, that is basically user triggered async job. Okay, get that right? So what is happening whenever we are calling whenever we are using a API call to trigger a task, that is basically user triggered async job. Right. So this is it for the systems. This is it for the bootcamp. If you face any error, any issues, I will be there. Please feel free to connect, help.
So this whole term we can mail you or call you.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Of course.
Okay, thank you.